right, here we go. Another edition of Hold My Banner. Travis Thomas here, joined by the walking, talking triple-double, balled out at UTEP, balled out at Fresno State, our esteemed producer, Ante Campbell. And Tay, I guess we're going to have to wait here a little while longer to see exactly who the Celtics play in the finals.
Yeah, 2Ts. I was upset. I can't lie. Can the Mavericks just not get this done? I'm ready. I'm ready for finals basketball, you know? I'm not complaining. These basketball games have been great in the Western Conference, but I'm ready to get ready mentally for Luka and Kyrie versus the Jays, man.
Okay, I think we're going to get just that, but I do believe the Timberwolves have exposed something, Ante.
Uh-oh.
And I'll get to that here. So we'll bring Ante back. He's always bringing the games and the hijinks, so we'll bring him back. We'll play a game with him, and he'll roll with us the rest of the way. So thank you, Tay, and I'll see you in a minute. And I want to first start, before I tell you the blueprint that I think the Timberwolves laid out, where the Celtics can learn from. I first want to give some props here to the Celtics, because I was bombarded with messages of people saying, hey, man, you called it. Celtics, here they are. They're in the finals. You know, what'd you make of the sweep and all that? Listen, you have to play who's in front of you, right? So this entire path, and we've laid it out. We've talked about it at length. Jimmy Butler being out for the Heat, check, gotcha. Donovan Mitchell going out in those critical games for the Cavs, got it, check. But you just have to play who's in front of you. It's not the Celtics' fault that the basketball gods parted the green sea for them on the way to the NBA Finals. I mean, you can't blame them for that. But I don't believe, as I bring up a Jimmy Butler, as I bring up a Donovan Mitchell, I don't believe Tyrese Halliburton being out for the Pacers has the same effect. And I like him. He's a really good young player. But I can't sit here and act like, and we all watched the games. We all saw it. This guy single-handedly lost the game for the Pacers in game one. He did. I mean, he was a mess at the end of that game. And it gave the Celtics life, and they won the game. By the way, if Tyrese Halliburton, who is a young player, who will get better, who will figure it out, who will be better in those moments in the future. So I will acknowledge that. But let's say, for the sake of this convo, you and I, that he did it in the game one against the Celtics, and the Pacers were able to win that game. Are we having a different conversation? Maybe. So I'm not blaming him per se and putting it all on him for the entire series, but I damn sure am putting a very critical game one that could have changed something in this series on him. So I say all that to say it's not the same with him being out. I'm not going to take away from the sweep of the Pacers because Tyrese Halliburton was out. I'm not. It's still an impressive sweep. I was extremely impressed. Now, in full disclosure, I thought that series going into it would go 6, and I was wrong. Halliburton being out maybe helped that, but the sweep is still impressive nonetheless. I did not see that coming. You essentially took the second best offense left in these playoffs behind yourself, and you got it done. You minimized them. I mean, they were nothing. They weren't even on your same level. I was impressed by that Celtic sweep against the Pacers. And again, I can't knock whoever's in front of you. You got to get them done. If anything, tip of the cap to the Celtics for not playing with their food for once. I mean, from where I sit, it almost appears as though they are peaking at the right time. These guys love each other. They're high-fiving. They're hugging it out. It's all kumbaya. There's no distractions. There's no issues. Mazzulla looks a lot better. He's improving as the playoffs goes on in terms of his coaching, some of his decision-making. It's all working. Kudos to the Celtics on a sweep. And you know what? I do believe Banner 18 is loading. Here's Jaylen Brown, your Eastern Conference Finals MVP after the win.
Jaylen, you seemed genuinely surprised when Cedric Maxwell called your name for that trophy. Were you expecting it? Like, what was your feeling when you heard your name called?
I wasn't expecting that at all. You know, I don't never win shit, so I was just happy that we won, and give credit to Indiana. They played us tough. I know, like, people think that Indiana wasn't a good team or whatever the case may be. I mean, I thought they were as tough as anybody we've played all season. They were physical. They were fast. They put a lot of pressure on us. So shout out to them and respect to them.
And it drives a lot of us crazy. I'm starting now to come around to it. It was very hard for me to accept what I'm about to say, but this is what this team is. We are all used to alpha. I mean, did you see Anthony Edwards in a survival game against the Mavericks, which we're going to get to in a minute, but, like, he put that team on his back. He damn near had a triple-double. He said, we are not going quietly into the night and getting swept. That's what we're used to seeing from great teams. We're used to seeing that alpha, that star player, put him on their back, let's go. That's not what the Celtics team is. And for years, I mean, how long do we have this debate? Whose team is it? Is it Jaylen Brown? Is it Jason Tatum? Like, I just don't believe that's this team's personality. And look, if they win a title, what can you really say? They have to be themselves, right? They have to win it according to their DNA, according to their personality. And in a lot of ways, they've taken the personality onto the head coach. That's Joe Mazzulla, too. We're all brothers. We all love each other. Kumbaya. It's working. That wasn't Ime Udoka. Alpha. No, you're going to play defense. No, you're going to my way, highway. That was his style. That's not what this team is. There is, look, in moments, certain nights, Tatum could be the guy. Jaylen Brown could be the guy. Derek White could be the guy. I mean, how many? Drew Holiday, we've seen that change. When Porzingis is back healthy in the finals, would any of you be shocked if the Celtics were to win the title and Kristaps Porzingis is the finals MVP? I mean, that's a fair question to ask, right? I wouldn't be shocked. So it's what they do. This is a true quintessential definition of the word team. And it's cliche and it feels corny because it's coach speak. But you know what? That's really what they are. It's what their personality is. Now, it'll be interesting, which brings me to the West, because I still believe in my heart of hearts it's too little too late from the Timberwolves. I do believe they'll extend it to 6. But in the end, you just need one win. I mean, you're talking about two of the best closers in the game, in Luka and in Kyrie. I think they'll get a win, and they will be in the finals. But the Timberwolves did expose something in Game 4 that I noticed. And it's kind of Captain Obvious. And there were games where the Thunder did this to the Mavericks. There were games where the Clippers did this to the Mavericks. They just weren't able to do it enough. I believe the Celtics can execute this enough. But it's very simple. You look at the box score of that game. Now, look, I already told you how great Ant was. Damn near got a triple-double. But Luka did indeed finish with a triple-double in that game. 28 points, 10 assists, 15 boards. Didn't shoot particularly well, but was affecting the game like Luka does. He was doing every damn thing. But if you notice, you start looking around at some of these ancillary pieces, most notably P.J. Washington. Now, there's been other guys who have stepped up throughout the playoffs, but he's been the consistent third piece. He only had 10 points in the game. How about Kyrie? Really neutralized, 16 points. This is the formula. And the Celtics have the bodies. They have the personnel. We'll see if they have the championship medal. That's the key to do this. But it is pretty obvious to me that you pick your poison. I think, personal opinion, Luka's much tougher to sort of slow down and neutralize. So my gut says Luka's just going to cook against the Celtics. Okay. You got to shut down the P.J. Washingtons and the Gaffords and the Liveleys of the world. And old friend, all the bleep Kyries in this city, that's the guy. You got to slow him down. You got to make life hell for Kyrie. What you can't do is allow Kyrie and Luka to just barbecue chicken you. You're finished. You're not going to win the title. It just is what it is. What you have to do, you must, priority one, shut off the water of all the role players. None of them. None of them. P.J. Washington and the like can really cook you. If you do that, you have a chance, and then you have to slow down one of that two-headed monster in Kyrie and Luka. If you can do that, which I believe the Celtics can, I like the C's. I like banner 18, loading. I do. I've been saying it all playoffs. I'll take the Celtics in 6. Listen, for years and years, I just have to bask in this Boston glow for a second, if you'll allow me. For years, I'm on the outside looking in, and I'm seeing all these championships in the city and the subsequent duck boat parades, and it was just fantastic. And all I thought was, what is in that dirty water up there that they sing about? And sure enough, now I'm here, and since I've been here, I mean, hey, a couple teams in rebuilds, Red Sox, Patriots, no problem. Be patient. You know, Patriots just coming off the dynasty, Red Sox, World Series galore, top brand in all of sports. Like, I get it. Patience. Bruins knocking on the door, just not quite, close, but no cigar. And the Celtics, who I got here, and boom, they're right in the finals against Steph Curry. We know how that ended, but there's no shame in losing to an all-time great who had an all-time great performance in the NBA Finals in Steph Curry. You learn from that. But now you're back. You got to learn from it, right? You got to learn from those Eastern Conference Finals. You got to learn from losing in the finals. You have to learn from all this stuff. So it's time. You're not going against the Denver Nuggets, who know how to win a championship. You're going against either a franchise in the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are going for their first championship ever, or likely, who we all think, the Dallas Mavericks, who are a very capable team with two absolute superstars of the highest order, and then a bunch of guys. It's your shot. It's your shot. I believe championship parade coming to Boston this summer, and I can't wait. Personally, I can't wait. I haven't experienced it here. And look, I mean, I hope it's one of many more to come in my career here in this town. But I do believe Celtics in 6 over the Mavericks. I'm putting it out there officially, and I'll be saying it all the way until we're drinking together at the parade, you and I. All right, now last episode, I laid out the gravitas of winning a title and what it would mean for players, coaches, franchises. I did that on the last Hold My Banner. I said, look, the legacy builders, right? We know all the names. Obviously, Tatum and Brown. One of the greatest duos already in Celtics history, but you need the ring, right? Don't mean a thing if you ain't got the ring. We understand that. I said, and I know a lot of people push back, it's just my opinion, I believe Al Horford is a Hall of Famer. And I believe a ring solidifies that and puts a bow on a Hall of Fame career for him. It would do the same for Kyrie Irving, who needs a ring without LeBron to really solidify a Hall of Fame career, likely for him as well. And even though he's got a long way to go and he's young, and we get all that, barring injury, most of us believe Luka is going to be an all-timer. A ring, boy, helps that narrative go on. How about Anthony Edwards, who I just sang his praises for keeping his team alive? Young guy. They're comparing him to Mike. It's premature. It's probably not a fair comparison. But if he wins a ring, that ain't going away. Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, these are guys with already fantastic resumes. So that's why I started it with legacy builders there. Then I moved on to the franchises. Say what you want about Dallas, but they did get one under Dirk. If you get one under Luka, all of a sudden you have two of the greatest European players of all time part of your franchise. That matters. Timberwolves, I said, first ever. And then we know Banner 18 for one of the biggest brands in all of sports. So the franchises, different viewpoints, but all huge, monumental. How about the coaches in this? Chris Finch, Joe Mazzulla, trying to prove they belong. Jason Kidd, great player. Is he a great coach? We don't know. A ring puts that to bed. And then all the countless role players, from your Drew Holidays to your Derek Whites, right? We get it. Your career is defined by that. But there was one name I left out. And I thought about it after the show. It really hit me. And I said, you know what? Brad Stevens has a very unique perspective in terms of legacy for this ring. If the Celtics are to get this ring, think about this as it pertains to Brad Stevens. No one would say he was a great coach. Maybe in college, NBA, you'd say he was good. He was a very good, maybe even. No one would use the term great for Brad Stevens as a coach. But as a GM, as an exec, shrewd moves to keep your core together, but add to it along the way without breaking up the core, quite frankly. Drew Holiday for Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams. Marcus Smart for Kristaps Porzingis. Derek White a couple years back. I mean, you didn't give up much, and look how that's paying off. So I just look at this like, if Boston is to win the title, Brad Stevens, in my mind, is immediately propelled to the top of his class as an executive. I mean, like that. You look at these moves he made, and you're keeping your core together, brother. Like, he messed around with the combinations, and he cracked the lock if they're able to win this. And I just think from a good head coach, early returns right now are he's a potentially great front office GM, shrewd guy. But a ring puts greatness in his name. It's not for coaching, but it's for what he's doing now. Making the moves behind the scenes, building a championship contender, which we believe this team will get a ring this year. But if you do it, boy, you get that initial monkey off your back, that first championship. We've seen this in sports across the board. Basketball, football, baseball, you name it. Where a team that's been knocking at the door for a while finally breaks through, and then the titles just start rolling in. All you need is one. Brad Stevens to be considered great at what he's doing now. You need the one. Because the moves you did got you here. Let's just be honest. You kept the core together. You kept tinkering with the combination. Boom. You hit gold. You didn't give up much to do it. The moves you did were extremely shrewd, extremely smart. Brad Stevens, in my mind, goes to great with a title for the role he's currently in. I'm here for it. All right, let's bring him in. Ante Campbell always gives me his take on my take, and then we always play a game. Let's do it, brother. What do you think?
Yeah, so look, I got to start with this. I have two things that I need to say about that beautiful rant that you had.
Thank you, sir.
To start the episode. The first thing is, if anything that the Timberwolves found in that game, in Game 4, I think all of the things you said are very true. They might have found some mixed match issues in there.
Yep.
But the biggest thing I took from that game, Karl Anthony Towns, go to the rim. You are too big and too strong to not be taking these smaller Mavericks defenders that they have on you to the rim and making plays. He did that all night in Game 4, and it made his team better. Rudy Gobert was getting dunks off of his driving in dishes. He was getting fouls. And then he started to get out towards the three-point line, and we saw his three-point percentage was much better because he was more involved in the game. Instead of just being a catch-and-shoot guy on the offense, he was a real playmaker. So that really helped him out. And I want to see him do it again in Game 5 if they're going to extend this series. Then the second thing, bro, KP – Finals MVP.
Hey, would you be shocked? I would not be shocked at all. I wouldn't. I mean, listen, Ante, think about this. He, by this time, bro, but I mean, it feels like we're not playing these damn finals for another month. He better be 110%. And listen, again, I think my reasoning, I don't believe he's going to win it, Ante. My point is, I wouldn't be shocked because the whole culture of this team is like, oh, you're the hot hand? Here you go.
No, I got the point that you were making. It's a great team. They're going to play to the hot hand and all of that. But, like, KP's coming off a crazy injury, bro. He's not winning Finals MVP. That's all I have to say, okay?
Well, listen,
I would be shocked.
I wish I felt more bold about it so we could bet, but I don't feel that bold.
Exactly.
In fact, the way he's playing right now, betting against Jaylen Brown is just not going to happen.
yeah.
Like if I'm betting, and I know some people suggest, well, maybe Tatum, since Brown kind of carried them up into this point, maybe the finals is Tatum's. And by the way, this is the stuff that we're used to doing. This is my point.
Yeah.
These guys don't care. They don't care. I mean, honestly, like it could be Al Horford for all they care. They want the ring. And for them, it's more about the team aspect of it, which is really where I was going with that. For all the latest on the Patriots, check out Foxborough Rush. Check out the full episode on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you follow us on all social media accounts for all of our best content. All right, what game you got for me this time?
All right, so this time we got Stop Me When You Hear a Better Player Than Tyrese Halliburton.
Oh, okay. So I just blamed the guy for game one loss and said his impact not being in this series against the Celtics was not the same as Jimmy Butler, was not the same as a Donovan Mitchell being out. And now, so I've already slandered the kid, and now we're going to play this game. I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to name some guys, and I'm going to tell you they're better than him. And I do like him, Ante, but I think he has a long way to go in his development, which is fine. He's a young player.
And I always start off with the softball toss to you. So first one, Markelle Fultz.
Oh, come on. Look, I know I just slandered him, but he's better than Markelle Fultz. It's no doubt about it. And I covered him in high school. I love that kid, but forget about it.
All right. Another guy who was a former All-Star, D'Angelo Russell.
Halliburton, I'd take all day long. I can't trust. D'Lo's very talented. He's too inconsistent. I still think he had not as bad as back in the day, but he still has some immaturity issues. Halliburton, all day.
Yep. All right. What about Cade Cunningham?
Oh, I love Cade Cunningham. I'm taking Tyrese Halliburton because I've been waiting and waiting for Cade Cunningham to be consistently awesome. And he continues to just give me flashes. Now, some of that could be the Pistons. They're a mess. But I thought this year, I was so wrong. I've never probably been more wrong in my life than I was on the Pistons. I thought the Pistons would take a Magic. Remember, I was on the Magic. I was right about that coming into the year. I thought the Pistons would take a Magic-like turn, not quite as a playoff team, but I thought they'd be more relevant. And they regressed. So Cade Cunningham, although I have still high hopes for him, he's nowhere near Tyrese Halliburton right now.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, this is where I think it starts to get interesting.
Okay.
You have to remember, this is peak.
Yes.
Drew Holiday.
Oh, man, that is tough. I have to go Drew Holiday over Tyrese Halliburton.
Wow.
I have to.
Yeah.
And Tyrese Halliburton's more gifted. He is. I think we can all see that.
Yep.
But, boy, it is something to be said about, first of all, Drew Holiday plays more to the traditional point guard role. I do not believe Tyrese Halliburton's a traditional point guard. He's a great passer.
I wouldn't say that.
He's a great passer. He's a great passer. You sound like Cat right there, Tay. After all that. He's a great passer, but he's more. I look at him more as a natural scorer, tremendous shooter. Drew Holiday's just metal, toughness, pass, go inside and score on you, can knock down an open shot, absolute all-time, tough, old-school defense. He's a great defender. Leadership. I have to go Drew Holiday.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I remember those Pelican days, those 76ers days. Drew was a problem. So
always a leader.
I like that take. Okay, the guy that he got traded for, essentially, Domantas Sabonis.
Well, I'll tell you this. I remember when this happened, I had a buddy. He's no longer in that city covering the Kings. But I had a buddy at the time covering the Kings, and he told me people were outraged at the Halliburton move. Yeah. They loved him.
Yeah.
And so I would go Halliburton based on that. I mean, a fan base really knows. And Sabonis has been tremendous.
100%.
And he worked with De'Aaron Fox. But, people were hurt that Tyrese Halliburton was gone. And I think they saw what we're seeing now with him. And obviously he'll keep getting better. But I think they saw it sooner.
Yeah.
So I would go Hallie there.
And you spoke about this guy, his old running mate, De'Aaron Fox.
I don't want to put him in the same breath as Cade Cunningham because he has been more tremendous.
Yeah.
More consistent.
Yep.
And tremendous consistently is what I was trying to say if I
Yeah.
could speak English. But listen, I also feel like this past season, I wanted another step in De'Aaron Fox's development.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I got that.
Yeah.
And I did see that from Tyrese Haliburton. He still has a ways to go.
Yeah.
But I feel, okay, here's a better way to explain it. As I say it out loud, it's like becoming more clear in my brain, which is very foggy, Ante, as you know. Tyrese Haliburton is ascending, and you can see it. You can see the improvement. You can see he's taking a step. You can project where he's going to be.
Yeah.
My worry with De'Aaron Fox is I didn't see that this season. Doesn't mean he can't get back to there,
Yeah.
but I felt like he was better a season ago.
Yeah.
Does that mean he's at his ceiling? I don't think so. Does it mean there's not a ton of room left in there? It's just an attic left before you get to the roof? Maybe. Maybe.
Right.
Where Haliburton, I think, is going leaps and bounds. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Today,
Yeah.
I'd rather have De'Aaron Fox.
Okay.
But I think Haliburton maybe has a chance to pass him soon.
him.
Is that
Yeah,
fair?
no, that's fair to say. I will say this, though. I think that it's not really a De'Aaron Fox issue as far as his
Okay.
improvement from
Okay.
this season. There's been some talks around the NBA about
Coach.
it being a coach situation, which
Yeah.
I'm not saying Mike Brown's not a good coach. He's a
Yeah.
great coach. I just think, like Mike Budd in Milwaukee,
Sure.
you kind of get tired of hearing the same voice eventually.
Maybe.
And I feel like his time is kind of running out over
Maybe.
there.
Yeah, they're having extension talks with him, and it's not going well, the
Right.
reports say.
Right. So, and I think that has to do with, players and coaches not really connecting. So I think that's
Yeah.
really why this Kings team and De'Aaron Fox didn't have the year that we all thought they were going to have.
Which one of mine shocked you? It seemed like Drew Holiday a little bit.
Yeah. Drew Holiday shocked me for sure. Yeah, the rest of them, not so much. I'm going to run through these other ones really quickly.
All right.
Trey Young.
I'd rather have Haliburton. I think I'm over the Trey Young.
That's shocking.
I know. Listen,
That's
bro.
shocking.
I'm a big Trey Young fan. I don't know what it is. I think I'm ready for a change of scenery.
Yeah.
To
For Trey.
possibly rekindle my love with Trey Young.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm sort of over it.
Yep. All right. Stephon Marbury. Starberry, baby.
I mean, I'd rather have Marbury, but Tyrese Halliburton's a better teammate. You know what I mean? Like,
You
who am
didn't
I
have to
who
take
are we
it there,
kidding?
Trav.
Who
You
are we
didn't have to
kidding?
take it there,
But
man.
I would much rather.
All
I
right.
loved
And then the
Starberry.
last two are obvious. It's a guy he was compared to, Steve Nash.
Stop. Steve Nash all day.
And then Steph Curry.
Stop. Listen, Marbury, let's be honest. If you're building a team, you'd rather have Tyrese Halliburton, yes?
Oh, my
But
God.
I just loved Marbury. The crossover, the selfishness. God bless him.
100%. All right, man. Did you see this, man?
What?
Van Gundy, one of the Van Gundy brothers,
Yeah.
was was
Stan,
saying
okay.
that the most talented backcourt in NBA history is Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. What do you think about this, man?
I think he's smoking some dope, is what I think. Are you kidding? That's a joke, right?
Smoking
What did he
dope.
say? What was the quote? Most talented
The
of all time?
most talented backcourt in the history
Come on,
of the
dog.
NBA is what he said about
Come on,
Kyrie
dog.
Irving and Luka Doncic.
I'm not even trying to go through every backcourt all time that's better than that. I'll just go most recent.
Yep.
I mean, honest to God, the Splash Brothers changed basketball. You cannot right now go watch a game of pickup. Forget the NBA. You can't go watch a game of pickup without cats who have no business pulling up from 30 plus from the parking lot and shooting threes.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding? You have big shooting threes. You have guys that can't shooting threes.
Cat shooting threes.
Like,
Too
come
many
on
of them.
now. Come on. Come on. I don't even, it's not even worth, that's not even worth going through all time and giving you 10 backcourts.
Right.
And then, by the way, you and I are huge Luka and Kyrie fans.
100%.
We sing their praises. I had them in the finals when the playoffs started.
Yes, you did.
So, I mean, like, I'm not hating on them. They are gifted as all hell. If they get a ring, okay, you can have some conversations, but stop.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the Splash Brothers literally changed basketball.
Yeah.
They changed the NBA, but they changed basketball.
100%. And that was one of the two that I was going to know. I also like for championship teams that won, Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We could do this all day of like actual better backcourts.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go recent because it's like, what are we doing?
And even recently, you saw Chris Paul and James Harden together. I think
Slow
they're
down, son. Slow down, son.
No.
Slow down,
You
son.
slow down.
Slow down, son.
You slow down.
So
MVP James Harden that
Nah.
took the Warriors
Nah.
to 7.
I'll go Luka and Kyrie.
Took the Warriors to
I'll take
7.
my chances.
Luka and Kyrie are not taking. Let me tell you this: this Dallas Mavericks team is not taking that Warriors team to 7. I can guarantee you that in the Western Conference Final.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got me there, but
Guarantee.
yeah, you got me there. But I tell you one thing, just in terms of backcourt, I'd take my chances with Kyrie and Luka.
Nah.
I would. But
Nah.
here's one thing we definitely agree on. It ain't no dynasty like them damn Splash Brothers had.
No.
So I just don't want to hear it with the greatest of all time nonsense.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
stop. They ain't the greatest of nothing. I don't even think they're beating the Celtics, quite frankly. But if they get a ring, then yeah, sure, I guess you could start having these conversations. But you know what you could do? If they get a ring, you damn sure can miss me with that Harden Chris Paul
Oh, for
nonsense.
sure. I'm saying for teams that haven't won
Yeah,
championships yet.
fair.
If we're talking
It's a
about teams
debate.
that haven't won
It's a fair
championships,
debate.
that's the guys that I'm going to.
It's a fair debate. I want to ask you about this.
Yep.
The 76ers allegedly
Mm-hmm.
want to trade for and then give Jimmy Butler an extension.
Yep.
But also, they have been linked here to not just Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to be in the LeBron James sweepstakes. Who isn't? They're trying to be in the Paul George sweepstakes.
Mm-hmm.
I bring this up because I'm curious to know, as a basketball mind,
Yep.
a beautiful basketball mind that you have, if you agree with me on this. Right now, I actually really believe in Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid.
Yep.
And I think you are cooking with those two. I don't think the 76ers right now need a superstar to come into that team because I think it stunts the growth that has already been so great of Tyrese Maxey. And that's a guy that continues to get better.
Yeah.
I need more from him. I think you can extract more from him. And maybe that helps keep Joel Embiid fresher.
Yep.
I think they need a second-tier star.
Okay.
I'll throw out a name.
Okay.
At this stage of his career, I bet you're going to get a very humbled Zach LaVine. Now, he has to stay healthy, Ante, obviously.
God, bro.
But that's the caliber of star I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think this team needs a Jimmy Butler or a LeBron or someone to take the ball away from Tyrese Maxey. I think you need someone who can almost complement him and spell him minutes and give him another scorer and take some pressure off of Joel Embiid. This is not someone who's available, but this is someone I'm thinking in terms of game. You don't like this guy either. But a Pascal Siakam type player it would fit perfectly with the 76ers, both in what he brings with his game, but also temperament.
Yeah. I just don't like him at that price point. You know what I mean?
Who?
I think
LaVine?
Pascal.
Well, he's not. You're not getting Pascal. I'm saying that type of player. That second tier of star.
Yeah.
That's why I brought up LaVine, because I know he is available.
Yeah. I could see LaVine a little bit more. I just don't like the way he plays on the defensive end.
Yeah.
But I agree 100% with what you said. It is right down here in my notes. I said keep the ball in Maxey and Embiid's hands. So I'm saying do Paul George. Like, he has no issue being off the ball. He's a willing defender. He has had playoff runs where we've seen him be great. Obviously, we know we've seen him not so great at times.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, those are really closing moments where Paul George hasn't been great. And you have two closers. With Maxey, which we saw with the Knicks, he was closing out games really well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, obviously, we know who Embiid is and how he finishes games. So you won't have to worry about him from that standpoint. Really, he's just going to be a guy that plays off the ball. He doesn't need to bring the ball up. And he's ready to catch and shoot and make plays and facilitate secondary.
So listen, this is a serious question.
Yes.
Because I don't believe the answer is yes to this. This is why I'm asking you.
Yep.
At this stage of his career, you really think Paul George is willing to be a third fiddle? Because that's what he would be.
I mean, that's what he was in
No, he wasn't.
in L.A.
No, he wasn't. Kawhi's never available. He is never available.
Okay,
and James Harden is not dependable.
Okay, but even when James Harden, whatever, not the pinnacle, like James Harden was running the offense, so he's first option off rip, basically. When Kawhi wasn't playing, we always got great Westbrook games. He was really taking over and being on the team, getting triple-doubles and stuff like that when other guys weren't available. He was never the second or first best player on this Clippers team last year.
I disagree with that. I think he was more so the first, but certainly second once we saw Harden actually show up.
As far as play goes, I would say that he was probably the second best player. But like as far as like option, like who's getting the ball, who we're going through, who we're playing through, he was always third. The ball was playing through Harden. The ball after that was going to Kawhi. We knew who the last shot was going to. It was Kawhi or Harden. And then maybe PG gets the opportunity to play after that.
I don't dislike him to Philly. I just think there's better fits for him. Yeah. Like I honestly, him with the Knicks is it's a no-brainer to me.
Everybody with the Knicks, man.
I get it. He plays
defense.
He fits the culture. He could be a second fiddle to Brunson, but still, not a third. I guess my point is I don't know if he goes to Philly and he's willing to defer to Tyrese
I
Maxey.
think Philly just doesn't fit for him because of the media. I think the media are going to try to kill him.
Good point, bro.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point. By the way, what's up with your boy Bronny? So Bronny, I mean, he's been invited to all these private workouts, and he allegedly says a few, quote, teams, but he's declined all of them except a few, most notably the Lakers and Suns. This is according to Shams. What is going on here? I mean, Rich Paul also said no two-way contracts for Bronny. So now everyone's going crazy. Is LeBron going to the Suns?
Yeah.
What's going on? I don't love this, and it's not just him. I don't want to just, pick on Bronny here. But this nepotism stuff with Bronny, with Prime Son. I hated what Eli did with the Chargers. We've seen this in sports.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like when guys are like, I'm not going to play there. I mean, you know who I am? That drives me nuts because of the thousands of athletes who would do anything just for a crack to play on a pro team. And now you got these. This is like entitlement to me. I don't love it. I also, to be fair, Ante, let's just, for the sake of the combo, say that Bronny and LeBron go to Phoenix. You're still not beating the Nuggets.
Yeah.
You're still not beating OKC. You're not beating the Mavericks.
Right.
You're not beating the Timberwolves.
Right.
Congratulations, you played yourself. You're a 5 seed. I mean,
played yourself.
LeBron, Bronny, KD, Book, and Beal. Bro, you're a 5 seed, bro. And you're not beating any of these teams in the playoffs.
Yeah. I would agree. I hate hearing this from Rich Paul and Bronny's camp just because it just seems like a lot of stipulations for such a polarizing pick. Like some days he's going to go to the Suns at 22.
Right.
Other days he's he's barely a G League player. Like I don't know what the narrative
What are we doing
about this guy. So I really don't like how it's like, oh, we're not playing here and we're only playing for this team and we're only showing up to these workouts because he's lucky to be getting invited to all of these things in the first place. I mean, he averaged 4 points in college. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's no disrespect to Bronny. I think he's a good player, but that's the honest truth.
Too,
right.
But
I just think that's the honest truth. What he showed us on paper hasn't been that. But look, you call yourself Nostradamus or whatever you want to call.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in the office today and I had an idea. And I was like, why Phoenix? Lakers make sense, but why Phoenix? So then I started to think, maybe they're going to trade Bronny plus either a Devin Booker / KD, one of those two.
Wait a minute.
To the Lakers. The Lakers would give up their first-round pick for 2025, first-round pick for 2027, the second-round pick that they have in this year's draft, 2024, D'Lo and Rui Hachimura for those two dudes.
Okay. I'm with you. I don't think it would be for Book. I think you could make that trade for Durant. And LeBron and Durant are boys. We know. I mean, hey, I don't hate it, Ante. But I still feel the same way. The same teams that I named to beat Phoenix, if
So
Bron
you don't
goes there,
think-
would beat the Lakers.
So you don't think Bron, KD, and
No.
Anthony Davis are enough?
No, not to beat maybe some of those teams I named. You're not beating Denver. No, I don't. I don't think that's enough.
Respect.
I don't think that's enough.
All right. Well,
Do you? Let me ask you this.
I didn't
Let me ask you this. LeBron, KD, and AD, is that team going to the finals, yes or no? It doesn't even matter who you beat or not.
Right.
Do they go to the finals? Because I'm saying no. I would take the field in the West.
I would take the field as well, but I would say it would be a health issue if they did lose. A health
Wow. Which, by the way, with AD sounds about right.
issue. AD, KD,
Doesn't it?
Bron has been missing
Right.
time lately. 100%.
Old as hell.
All right.
Hey, if this was 2015, what a team.
Right. Facts.
How about this? Sparks and Sky tomorrow night.
Yep.
Angel Reese against Cameron Brink. Look, it's likely going to be Caitlin Clark for Rookie of the Year, but you can make a case right now for Angel Reese or Cameron Brink. They have both lived up to the hype for Rookie of the Year. What do you think in that game? You've been all over this WNBA. Your predictions have been money, bro.
Yeah. I'm going to roll with Cameron. I think she's going to
too.
have the better game.
Me too.
I think Angel Reese and the Sky probably have the better opportunity to win the game. But I think out of the two of them, Cameron's probably going to have the better game. She's been amazing. That game that she had the other day against Caitlin Clark was amazing. She was just hooping, playing well, getting blocks, shooting threes, doing her thing. So I'm excited to see her play. I love Angel as well. I think she plays hard, but I think Cameron's going to get this one.
Yeah, I agree. And we knew this coming out of college for them. Cameron Brink's a little more well-rounded and polished.
Yeah.
Whereas Angel Reese, tenacious defender, tenacious rebounder, tough as nails, Baltimore stand-up, shout-outs.
Yep.
But still needed some refinement offensively.
Yep.
And she's doing it. I mean, she's playing really well. But I think Cameron Brink's just a little bit better right now. So I agree with you. I'll take Reese to get the win, Brink to have the better game.
Yep.
I want to close the show, honoring the life that was for Bill Walton. But I know, Luke Walton. I wanted, before you head out of here, Ante, to give you a couple minutes here to talk about the loss of Bill Walton.
Yeah, of course, man. First, I want to shout out the fact that he's the only Portland Trailblazer to ever win an MVP. So shout out to him for that. But besides the basketball, we know all the accolades. Dude, he was loved by everyone. And I got the opportunity to spend some time with him. Back when I was in high school, I used to work out at UCLA from time to time, and he would be there. And there's one thing that stuck with me that he would always tell me is just love everything that you do. Love everything that you do. And I remember writing that on my arm sometimes before games, writing it on my shoes before in college. Love everything that you do. It was such a special thing that he gave to me for that. And I just took it with me everywhere. I take it with me here at Nesson.
Yeah.
I take it with me at home. I take it with me when I'm driving my car, man. Just everything that you do, you have to love. And that's the best way to live life. And no one had anything bad ever to say about Bill Walton. So I appreciate him for the time that he gave us on this planet. And he was just such a special human being. So shout out Bill, man.
Wow, man, that's beautifully said, and thanks for sharing that story too. There he is, Ante Campbell. We appreciate you, brother. I'll close it out from here, and I don't have any personal stories like you do, but I have the same sentiment as it comes to Bill Walton. I know many of us do. R.I.P. And really, thank you to Bill Walton, not only for what he did for the sport of basketball and sports in general, but I actually look bigger picture at society with him. I mean, the world right now is just so dark. And any time you have someone who can bring light to the world like a Bill Walton did, living the way he did, trying to bring joy, being unapologetically him, I mean, that is beautiful to watch and beautiful to be a part of. And you see the impact of that with the legacy that he leaves behind. So a true example of living life to the fullest and just bringing light to a lot of darkness in the world. So R.I.P. to Bill Walton, who we lose, 71 years old, in a battle from cancer. R.I.P. to Bill Walton. Thanks for watching. Hold my banner, and we'll go out honoring Bill.